I still remember the day we moved into our new home in Oklahoma. It was a quaint little house nestled at the edge of town, surrounded by towering oak trees and rolling hills. At first, it seemed like the perfect place to start a new chapter in our lives, but little did we know the horrors that awaited us within its walls. It started with subtle things, small noises in the dead of night, shadows flitting across the walls when no one was there. At first, I brushed it off as my imagination playing tricks on me. But as the days passed, the strange occurrences became more frequent, more pronounced. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself that there was a rational explanation for everything. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. It wasn't until I stumbled upon the old diary hidden away in the attic that I began to understand the true nature of our new home. The diary belonged to a young girl named Emily, who had lived in the house many years ago. As I read through its pages, I was struck by the sense of desperation and fear that permeated every word. Emily wrote of strange whispers in the night, of shadows that seemed to watch her every move, of a presence that lurked just beyond the edge of her vision. I tried to dismiss it as the ramblings of a troubled mind, but as the days passed, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were not alone in the house. My husband, Tom, brushed off my concerns, chalking it up to stress from the move, but I could see the fear lurking in his eyes whenever he thought I wasn't looking. As the weeks turned into months, the strange occurrences only grew worse. Objects would go missing, only to reappear in the most unlikely of places. Doors would slam shut of their own accord, and the air grew thick with an oppressive sense of dread. I began to see things, fleeting glimpses of figures standing in the shadows, watching me with empty eyes. At night, I would hear the sound of soft footsteps echoing through the empty holes, and the whispers grew louder, more insistent, filling my mind with their sinister murmurs. I tried to tell myself that I was imagining things, that there was a rational explanation for everything. But deep down, I knew the truth. Our new home was haunted, and whatever entity lurked within its walls was growing stronger with each passing day. I confided in Tom, hoping that together we could find a way to rid our home of its ghostly inhabitant, but he refused to believe me. He said I was letting my imagination run wild, that there was no such thing as ghosts, but I could see the doubt in his eyes, the fear that gnawed at him when he thought I wasn't looking. Desperate for answers, I began to research the history of our home, hoping to uncover the source of the haunting that plagued us. What I discovered chilled me to the bone. Our house had once been the site of a grisly murder-suicide, a tragedy that had claimed the lives of Emily and her family many years ago. According to the records, Emily had been the one to discover her parents' bodies, their lifeless forms hanging from the rafters of the attic. I knew then that Emily was the one haunting our home, her restless spirit trapped within its walls, doomed to relive the horrors of that fateful night for all eternity. But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more, something darker lurking just beyond the edge of my understanding. As the days passed, I became consumed by my obsession with Emily and the secrets that lay buried within our home. I spent hours poring over old newspapers and archives, searching for any clue that might help me unravel the mystery of her death. But the more I uncovered, the more I realized that some secrets are better left buried. I stumbled upon dark rituals and occult practices that had taken place within our home, rituals that had unleashed forces beyond our comprehension. I tried to warn Tom, to tell him of the danger that lurked within our home, but he refused to listen. He said I was losing my mind, that I needed help, but I could see the fear in his eyes, the doubt that gnawed at him when he thought I wasn't looking. In the end, it was too late. The darkness that had haunted our home for so long had grown too powerful to contain, and it hungered for release. On the night of the full moon, it unleashed its fury upon us, tearing through the barriers between worlds and consuming everything in its path. I tried to protect Tom, to shield him from the horrors that surrounded us, But in the end, I was powerless to stop it. As the darkness closed in around us, I watched in horror as Tom's form was engulfed by shadows, his screams echoing through the empty halls. And then, there was nothing. Just darkness and emptiness, stretching out before me for eternity. I was alone, trapped within the void, with nothing but the echoes of my own despair.